Marguerite Wells. That's Marguerite. Wells is Wells. I'm a Vice President of Renewable Development for Invenergy.
So, if you don't mind, just share kind of the overview of the number 3 project here in Lewis County.
So, number 3 wind project has been in development and construction for 8 years from the beginning to now. It is 103.9 megawatts and it's 27 turbines, about 13,000 acres that they're spread across, and about 40 different landowners who are participating in the towns of Lowville and Harrisburg in Lewis County.
And what does this mean for our Lewis County community? Definitely is very excited. And we heard Cheyenne Sarah saying, this is not new. However, it's still exciting.
So it's more turbines in an area that already has a bunch of wind turbines, and so it's more money is really what it amounts to for the community, both for the landowners that host the turbines and for all the taxing jurisdictions that get the tax payments. So the towns, county, and the schools will be making collectively about $1 million a year in first payments, and for 30 years for the life of the project. So it really provides economic development that the community can then recirculate those dollars in the community and have secondary benefits across the economy.
And can you tell us exactly, you gave us the overview of the project, what are we here celebrating today? Actually, the project is online now, so we're supplying power to the grid.
That's exactly right. The project is actually online and delivering power to the grid. As you can see, the turbine behind me is operating, and it's quiet enough that it's operating and we're having a conversation and you can't really hear it. But yes, the power's going right into the grid right now. It just turned on last week.
And in terms of employment, how many jobs does this bring to Lewis County now that the project's completed out of the developmental stage and is up and operational? Are there any jobs tied to the project now that it's operational?
Sure are. So there's 6 full-time jobs running this project, and those workers work out of an operations and maintenance building that's right on the number 3 road that we built to support this project. And so those are local staff. We hired them, and they're folks with experience on turbines, and that includes repairing the turbines, keeping them in good repair, monitoring the whole place. Yep.
And during the construction process?
There were about 150 full-time equivalents, but 600 actual separate jobs were employed during the construction across all different kinds of trades.
Great.
What are some of the ways that this project specifically stands out compared to other renewable projects in New York State and the country?
That's a great question. So this uses turbine technology that is familiar to others. These turbines are larger than many of the other turbines in the state. These are mostly 4.2 megawatt turbines, so they're a larger megawatt. And it's the first project in a portfolio of projects called Clean Path New York that is going to be delivering clean energy across the state through some new transmission cables.
And I heard you earlier, and we all did, and I thought it was wonderful when you said, someday, clean energy, something that's being produced here can be reaching to a home down in Queens or Brooklyn.
Yep.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
So that's the Clean Path New York is a portfolio of both generation projects that are upstate and a transmission project that will connect that to downstate. Because one of the challenges with upstate generation is that it doesn't have a way to supply New York City. And so New York City has a lot of really dirty, what are called peaker plants to supply energy in times of peak demand, but they produce a lot of pollution. And that's to the detriment of the health of a lot of New Yorkers. And so this delivers clean energy to the city that can help improve air quality in the city. And what that does is it harvests those New York City dollars and puts them into Lewis County pockets. When we talk about delivering energy out of Lewis County, people think, well, we really want the energy here, but there's more than enough energy in Lewis County for our needs here, and the electrons flow to the source that needs them most. So every light bulb in Lewis County is certainly powered by wind turbines, and when there's excess, we send it out of the county. Same way we do with milk and with timber products. We make a lot more milk in Lewis County than we can consume here, so all the extra we send out of town and we harvest those dollars, and it's just the same with wind power. We send the extra out of town and we take the money and we put it into Lewis County pockets.
So any extra energy that can be produced by this definitely can be making it down to the cities.
Absolutely right. Or wherever the nearest. It could go to Syracuse, it could go to Albany, it could go to Utica. Whoever's using power anywhere in the state, that's how electrons flow. They just go from where they're being generated to the nearest place that needs electrons.
Some of the other partners that spoke today were referencing the community fund that was established by Invenergy.
Yep.
Could you tell us just a little bit about that and why that was important to this project and how that's kind of unique to a project like this, at least in our community?
It's certainly unique to this project and to this community, and the best I can explain it is that with with the usual tax dollars that a project like this pays, there's a lot more constraints on what the money can be used for. You know, they have to go to the taxing jurisdictions in certain proportions and can only be used for certain purposes, and that's all fine. But it does mean that a community doesn't get to choose what those dollars go to do. And Lewis County IDA and the LCDC really wanted to form an investment fund that used the wind money to share more broadly across Lewis County. Because one of the things I think you see here is that certain communities get turbines because they happen to have wind, and then there's other communities that are in the same county, they don't get it, and so they don't get the revenue and they don't get the benefit. And so part of the purpose of this fund was to be able to allow all communities in Lewis County, those who have turbines and those who don't, to apply for the money, for grants, and to do economic benefits across the county and sort of spread the wealth a little more broadly. And that was part of what was really exciting about IDA's proposal to do that, because we want these projects to really benefit everybody. We don't want it to just be only a few people that see the benefit. The more people see the benefit, the more people support the project, and they get to improve their lives. And really, I see a project like this as having two main things. There's green energy, and that's great, but I see the economic development component of a project like this as just as important as the energy component, because it's bringing dollars to a community that needs it. And we need to revitalize rural upstate New York, and there's not that many different ways to do it, and this is a way to do it. So that's why I thought this particular proposal from the IDA was so exciting, and why we really wanted to be a part of it.
Perfect.
Thank you, Marguerite.
Is there
so much.
is there any other, might be putting you on the spot a little bit
fine.
here, so you don't have to answer, but now that this project's kind of in the books and completed from the development and getting an online perspective, is Invenergy looking at any further projects here in Lewis County in the future?
Yeah, we have a couple of early stage projects that aren't projects because they're just ideas at this point. But certainly we've had such a good experience in Lewis County. We look forward to finding new ways to work here.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Love being here.